That surely can't be a bad thing, right, chat? I don't foresee anything bad happening with that. Not at all. No, sir. No, sir. No, no, no.
Full video, but I finally managed to track down just enough, and I'm very excited. Today we're talking about the Battle of Alcatraz, that time in 1946 when Alcatraz prison island...
Is that a prison, not a war zone? There was a fucking battle in Alcatraz? I know it's the fucking Call of Duty Zombies map. I never got to play it though, because I couldn't, I was, by the time that came out, I was, you know, child and had no money, so I couldn't afford the map pack, but I wanted to play it. I wanted to play it so badly, bro.
Lost control of some of their inmates, and they acquired firearms, and the guards couldn't handle the situation, so they went to the US government, and the US government was like, we've got an entire branch of the military that specializes in taking islands, actually.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. There's no way that this happened. It's too perfect of a scenario.
You're literally talking about the Call of Duty game. This isn't history. This is Call of Duty. This is Call of Duty. Alcatraz was a prison in the war years. And if you almost finished replaying Halo CE before Halo 2, let's go! Best zombies map ever. I need to play it. I need to play it because I never got a chance to as a kid.
There's literally one prison island and it goes out of control, so they have to send in the one branch of the military that specializes in capturing islands. It sounds like the setup to an action movie. This isn't real life, but it is. And if you don't believe me, here's a bunch of newspapers from the time period.
Oh. Hint Alcatraz convicts are dead or wounded. What the fuck, bro?
I accidentally gave away the ending.
In the business, we call...
Oh, that's Count Dankula! Hi,
That's
Count.
foreshadowing.
He's a very funny guy. He's a very funny guy.
Let's be real, if you watched any of my videos, you already knew that was the only possible outcome. Uncle Sam's only sitting in the Marine Corps when he wants something dead, broken, or pregnant, and that's just how this plays out. But
wait, Tigers, you're not going to impregnate the prisoners, are you? Wait, what?
Historically speaking, there's more important things at play here, because if it wasn't for the Battle of Alcatraz, the Marine Corps as we know it today might not even exist, and we're going to get to it right after word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Supremacy World War III. It is a free-to-play online PvP military-based strategy game.
We should. What do you mean we should? What do you mean we fucking should? Alcatraz was definitely a prison. That is for certain. We impregnate the group. No, we don't impregnate the prisoners. No, it's fucked.
The entire thing's based on a World War III type scenario where you get to pick your country and go to war with the rest of the world. You can forge alliances, or you can just go solo and try to take over the whole thing yourself. They've just introduced a new shadow market, which is basically the black market where you can do a bunch of sketchy, illegal stuff on
Deva, thank you for subscribing, Google. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
That's going to upset people if they find out. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it's going to upset people. That's literally a function of the game. If you get caught, it can actually cause insurgencies, civil unrest, or damage the morale of your country. Unpopular opinion, they should probably update it so it increases the morale of the American military if they get caught, because their unofficial motto is, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. I mean, it's never a war crime the first time. So if you want to give it a try, you can play with up to 90.
I hate that so much. It's never a war crime the first time.
9 other people, and it's available on both PC and mobile, and it's free. So if you want to check it out,
he is correct. Hey, I'm not gonna say anything here. As the streamer, you know, that's being recorded right now, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna stay silent on that. I have nothing to say on that.
I have a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video.
That's Canada's motto.
All right, our story begins in May of 1946. World War II has just ended, and with the ending of
He's right, you know.
World War II, it has brought about a huge conversation in politics and the military as how the military should function moving forward into the future, because World War II kind of turned all of the doctrines and warfare upside down on its head. You see, going into World War II, pretty much every country and most of the military strategists and tacticians all believed that the future of warfare was going to be battleships. Huge, massive,
Look today how it's become drones. Drone warfare is the modern way of warfare, not battleships.
Tough, heavy armored ships with massive guns that could just roll up to the enemy's coastline and shoot humongous rounds that weighed thousands of pounds at the enemy from 30 miles away. But in practice, that's not really how it worked out, because what World War II proved was that aviation was the future, because aircraft carriers dominated the seas and massive bombing raids dominated the battlefield. Simply put, whoever has air superiority is probably gonna win. Because of that, in the wake of World War II, the United States government and the military is
To be fair, warships are still needed. Oh no, 100%. You still need warships, but like you said, aircraft carriers, kind of goated, kind of poggies, kind of, insane. That Electrician has been watching for years. We started recently, like a couple months ago. Flying with drones feels like a battle royale. It does feel weird, right? It does feel like okay, so I don't want to say video gamey, but you know what I mean, right? Modern day warfare seems like it's kind of like kind of video gamey because they use drones and I don't know. You just see people using controllers and I'm like, you should be gaming, but you're controlling a deadly weapon right now. And Logan Chan, thank you for that. Welcome in. How does a few British videos and does them justice?
Basically saying, okay, well, if aviation is the most important thing, we should probably have a branch of the military exclusively dedicated to aviation. The Army Air Corps should split off from the Army, become its own thing, the Air Force, and it is in charge of all aviation for every branch. As we know, it doesn't really play out that way because the Army still has planes and helicopters, and the Navy still has fighter pilots and planes and helicopters, and there's the Air Force on top of that.
Wait, yeah, I always wondered about that. I thought it was like each branch controls one specific thing. Why does the Air Force not control all aircraft? I'm asking that. I'm sure he's about to fucking explain why.
This is the conversation going on at the time. And because of that, the conversation turns into, okay, every branch has their one thing they do. The Navy has boats, the Air Force has planes, and the Army is in control of ground warfare. The problem is, where does that leave the Marine Corps?
To write rules, something needs to happen too. That is the rule. Fair. Also, welcome in, and how are you? I get it. Like the drones getting damaged, not the person getting with. Yeah, that's what I mean, Spinner. It feels really like video gamey without being video gamey. Thank you for the 6 months, Goober. I appreciate that. Navy does the naval flying carrier base. And how are you doing? We're good, Crimson. How are you? Have you seen the Ukrainian Dragon drones? They look straight out of a hawk. I have not seen that, no.
It doesn't, and that's how the conversation kind of devolves into maybe we should get rid of the Marine Corps. And while that is a horribly stupid idea, that's what they're talking about.
Stupid.
So in May of 1946, the United States Senate is heavily considering slashing the Marine Corps' budget and downsizing the entire Corps, essentially getting the ball rolling on abolishing the Marine Corps entirely.
Bad idea. More money to the Marine Corps.
And on May 6th of 1946, General Vandegrift, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, is scheduled to give a speech in front of the Senate to basically advocate for not getting rid of the United States Marine Corps and explain to all these politicians why it is such a horrible idea. But
One-Eyed Spider, thank you for the thought. Welcome in. It's not a walk around the first time. I literally didn't know that was a thing until he said it just now. Are we winning now? We are winning. We are winning too. How are you winning?
Before he has the opportunity to do so, fate would step in and prove his point for him.
Okay, we get into the story now, chat.
May 2nd, 1946, there was an inmate at Alcatraz by the name of Bernard Coy, who's currently serving 26 years for bank robbery. His psychiatric evaluation describes him as, and I quote, in possession of superior intelligence, is prison-wise, reckless, impulsive, and erratic. Despite that, he has somehow managed to obtain a job as a prison orderly, which basically means that he's given free roam around the cell block, and he delivers mail and other things to the
That surely can't be a bad thing, right? Chat, I don't foresee anything bad happening with that. Not at all. No, sir. No, sir. No. No, the second if you leave, we know where this is. Van Griff is a go. The U.S. Navy is the second largest aircraft force in the world after the U.S. Air Force. Let's give a criminal master. Yes, exactly. Give me a criminal mastermind, someone who's smart and fucking prison-wise, free roam and access to things. Couldn't go wrong. Oh, Scripps, I'm really sorry, but Red made me promise to say, and this is what Red told me to say this to you. I don't get it. But they told me to tell you that Bulbasaur's are worse and Charizard's better. I don't understand Screws. Red made me say it, okay? Just blame
other
them.
inmates and just helps the guards do whatever they need to do. Utilizing this freedom of movement, he has conspired with other inmates and hatched a plan to escape. And one of his co-conspirators is a guy that has a job working in the kitchen by the name of Marvin Hubbard, who is serving a 99-year sentence for kidnapping, grand theft auto, and according to his official documentation, has an IQ of 65, which is a very polite.
So he's dumb as fuck. He's dumb as fuck. What? That's what Red said. That's what Red told me to say to you, Scrooge. I'm sorry. Why? I'm not lying. I would never, chat. I would never lie. I would never lie about Pokemon. I take Pokemon seriously, okay? As a fire-type main, as a Charizard girly, I take Pokemon seriously. Take it up with Red. Blame them. They're the one who told me to say that to you. I'm sorry, Scrooge. I'm sorry. Also, his best. He's a cute little guy. He's a cute little guy, but my heart will always be with Charizard.
Way of saying,
you're retarded.
Kane, I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would Bernard Coy, the criminal mastermind, want to
Okay, he said the word I was thinking of, and I was too scared to say on stream. He said the word. Thank you.
team up with a moron in the kitchen that's barely qualified to make instant mashed potatoes to help him break out of prison? It doesn't make any sense. And at a glance, you're right. Okay, what you gotta realize is we're talking about breaking out of Alcatraz. Nobody has ever managed to pull this off, and the only people willing to try are people that occupy the far ends of the bell curve. You're either highly intelligent and have a massive ego, and that's why you think you can pull this off, or you're over here licking windows for taste, and you think that anything's possible.
I don't think Americans used it, but I remember back in school, the term for dumb people was window lickers. I specifically remember that. I don't know why we called them that. I say we. I was the one being called it because I was in I was the one in the, the special ed class, but I wasn't I might be a bit dumb, but I'm not that dumb. I'm not to the point where I eat paste. And I can't do shit. I just struggled with reading and writing. Literally, that all it was, I was dyslexic. That's all. That's why I was in those classes. So, I was one being called those things relentlessly, even though I'm pretty much normal. I'm not one of them.
Because you're kind of fucking stupid. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, Hubbard was probably not Coy's first draft pick, but it was the only guy that would take the job. His third and final co-conspirator, on the other hand, is a guy by the name of Joe Kretzer, who has a massive criminal rap sheet that would ultimately...
He's also got a massive forehead. Holy shit! You could play fucking noughts and crosses on that fucking thing. Holy fuck, bro. Okay, Americans, for some reason, you guys call noughts and crosses tic-tac-toe, which makes no sense. It's the same game. Again, it's just one of those, fucking, differences, cultural differences. You make up names for real things that we have. It's called noughts and crosses because you use noughts and crosses.
Culminate in him forming the Kretzner gang and would see him going around the country
forehead,
robbing
though.
banks where he would ultimately wind up as public enemy number 4 with the FBI, which was that day's equivalent of the number 4 most wanted man in the country. After
Nev, you are dyslexic. You are intelligent. A lot of people would disagree with you that are angry. A lot of people would disagree with the intelligent part. That's one big head. You're welcome. You can use words for free. Fuck you. Leave him alone. He has a lot on his mind.
being captured, he was put in a different prison. He would ultimately escape from that prison for 3 days before being recaptured. And then while going through the court process for breaking out of prison, he would try to escape again, killing a federal marshal in the process, finally landing him at Alcatraz.
Okay, I'm pretty. At this point, they had the death penalty, right? This guy is just refusing to do his time. I'm gonna be real. Maybe you should look at more drastic options. I don't think this guy is going to just sit there and serve his time. I also don't think he's gonna be a benefit to society. I'd argue he's probably gonna be an absolute fucking menace to society. Maybe look at maybe not imprisoning him. Maybe send him to another country, maybe. We'll make it their problem. I'm kidding. Sniper dream target.
So yeah, these are the 3 guys that started everything. I was actually able to track down some footage of all 3 of these guys on May 4th, 1946. Roll the tape.
This was Bernard Paul Coy. Kentucky bank robber, Tennessee kidnapper Marvin Franklin Hubbard is also taken to the city morgue. Joseph Paul Kretzer.
I was joking. I didn't actually mean kill him. Fucking hell, bro.
California killer, reportedly the brains behind the attempted jailbreak.
fuck? Nev, I work with people all the time in customer services. You are intelligent. I hear Americans call a slicky wiki lumentator toggle a light. Wait, what the fuck? We call it a light switch too. What do you mean a flicky wiki, bro? Quick Google says, so it says that tic-tac-toe came from Britain. It was called tit-tat-toe. Well, we call it noughts and crosses now, so that's what his real name is. That's like, it's not Waldo, it's Wally. This really happened? Apparently, Spinner. Wait until you see it. Oh, okay.
All right, May 2nd, 1946, Coy is currently roaming around the cell block working as an orderly, and Hubbard is working inside the kitchen, and Coy is waiting for Hubbard to come out of the kitchen when he's done doing whatever he's doing in there, because Coy and Hubbard both know that whenever they leave the kitchen, he has to get searched to make sure he's not trying to steal anything or like bring a knife or something out of the kitchen.
Okay, smart. So he's gonna shove something up his ass, and they're not gonna check there because they didn't think of that at the time, and he's gonna break him free. I can only see where this is going. This is like a fucking prison break movie.
While Hubbard is getting searched by the guard, Coy attacks the guard from behind. They both jump the guard.
Okay, no, I was completely wrong. I was completely off.
And beat him unconscious, taking his keys. Now from here, they get the keys, they go let Joe Kretzner out, and then Hubbard and Kretzner lift Coy up to the gun gallery, which is covered by bars because they need to keep it safe because that's where all the guns are. But Coy's been planning this for months, and he has been starving himself the entire time. He also has acquired grease and made a homemade bar spreader out of a nut, a bolt, and a couple other pieces of metal. He manages to grease himself.
Motherfucker, I would have never thought of that. What the fuck?
And spread these bars apart just enough to slip his body through
Holy
into an
shit.
area that no convict should be able to get into. So because he now has the element of surprise,
That is so clever. Okay, yeah, there's no wonder he was a fucking brains. Holy shit, bro. And he'd been starving himself so he could fucking get through. The greasy motherfucker? Exactly. He's a slippery fella. Workers are normally strip searched after working sensitive jobs they could get weapons from. Distracting the guard, personal wallet.
he's very easily able to ambush a guard, knocking him out. He then takes his 30-06 rifle, his Colt 1911, and his club. He drops the 1911 and the club down to his accomplices and continues through the gun gallery with his rifle. Utilizing the gun gallery, he makes his way over to D Block, which is not the normal part of Alcatraz. D Block is cordoned off with extra security. This is like the maximum security portion where the worst of the worst guys go, and they're all on solitary confinement.
Okay, right, yeah, so it's solitary. Yeah, okay. So this is where the big bad motherfuckers go. This is the part you don't want to be in.
He gets the guards in D Block at gunpoint.
Well, okay, I'm going to rephrase that. You don't want to be in prison in general, but you don't want to be in that particular section at all. That is the worst.
Forces them to open the door between D Block and the rest of the prison and let his accomplices in. They then take all 6 guards and move them into an empty cell in C Block and lock them up. C Block is empty right now because all the inmates that are supposed to be in those cells are outside in the rec yard. They then attempt to release everybody in D Block to help them with this getaway. Remember, these are the guys that are in prison and are getting punished on top of being in prison and placed in solitary confinement. Presumably, they're the worst of the worst, and the vast majority of them are like, no thank you, I'm good, and they stay in their cell. Like I said, bell curve. You have to have a delusional amount of self-confidence or be a fucking idiot to think you can pull this off. But
So most of the person just sat and just stayed in their cells. It's like, I'm not fucking taking part in this. I ain't getting a bigger rep. Because, like, I don't get it, right? What is the outcome of this? They're never going to escape. They're on a fucking island, bro, surrounded by the US military. There is no shot in hell you are making it out and you're just going to blend into society and live your life again. Like, you're just making it even worse for you. What is the point? Just fucking do your time, keep your head down, and fucking get out and make yourself a better person when you get out. That's what prison is for. Like, I don't understand the trying to escape bullshit. They are smarter in this instance. This one instance, yes, Reuben. Also, hi, welcome in. Twitch does not like my foul mouth. No, but I'm gonna be real. Twitch really likes to flag your fucking words a lot of the time. I have to, like, allow your fucking comments.
Apparently, at least 3 of the convicts in D Block fall into those categories because 3 people do join them. We've got Mirren Thompson, who has 8 previous successful jail and prison escapes on his rap sheet. Then we've got Clarence Carnes, who has 1 successful escape attempt on his rap.
That hairline's getting away from my boy here. Oh no. Oh, buddy. I'm generally not taking the piss. I actually feel bad because that's not a good look. That is not a good
map
look.
sheet. And finally, we have Sam Shockley, who, as far as I can tell,
He looks like he's about to cry. Like, this guy doesn't look like a criminal to me. He looks like he's about to fucking cry, bro.
is just a fucking psychopath. Okay, everything is going perfect. It's
fuck?
going according to plan. We've got 6 convicts. We've got 6 guards. We're going to take their uniforms. The convicts are going to put the uniforms on. Then we're going to take the keys, which we already have, use that to open up the door to the rec yard. We're going to take the guards out at gunpoint and force the rest of the guards to let us out. And then we're going to make our way down to the dock where there is a resupply ship for Alcatraz that is there every day at 2 p.m. We're going
Yeah, but the US military will fucking find the ship and then find where you went and then hunt you down. You're not getting away. You're just not getting away with this. Plus it's an island. If you're saving life, they don't care about chances. Not surrounded by the military yet, just the ocean. Okay, so the military's not there yet. You can swim from Alcatraz to shore, perfectly doable. I thought it was hard, right? I thought it was like really difficult. That's why they chose Alcatraz as a prison, because it was just like insanely hard to get to shore without a boat. Back in the day, they were considered handsome at maybe. Hello, second. You must be some smart guy to be able to escape so much. That or lucky, smart or lucky. It's very cold and gets mean current. Exactly. Is the current in the bay are deadly? Not to mention sharks. Wait, there were sharks there. Did he like import sharks and have like a little like fucking moat around them where the sharks just pixel? If I was making a prison, that's what I would do. That would deter people from fucking trying to swim.
to commandeer that ship with our hostages, and then we're going to sail it across that 2-mile gap over to San Francisco.
I should play Prison Architecture at some point. That looks really fun.
And then we're home free. And that's the plan. So they get the guards' uniforms on, then they go over to the door, they figure out which key works, they go through all the keys. None of the keys open this fucking door. As fate would have it, the guard that they knocked out first, the one with the keys, the one that was completely ambushed and had no idea that this was coming, for some reason, he didn't like having that particular key with the rest of his keys, and he kept it in the breast pocket of his uniform. And there was a period of time where he was in the cell in his uniform before they came back and took their uniforms. So he had taken the key and hid it inside the toilet. So the
Fucking, oh, so smart. So fucking smart, bro. Good man. Good fucking man. Good man. You cannot swim from Alcatraz. Too many cross currents. You will die without knowledge. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought you could not do it. Yeah.
Next, go back to the guards in the cell. We don't know what happens. They might have beat him up to get it, or the guards might have just handed it over because they knew the convicts were already fucked. Regardless, the convicts get the key that they need. They go back to the door.
Oh, fuck.
The key won't work.
God damn it!
It's a security door. If you use the wrong key a single time, it jams the door, and then you have to have special equipment and maintenance and everything to come fix the door. The door's not coming open. They're fucked.
Oh, shit.
Okay, plan B.
I didn't know that was a thing. I legitimately did not know that was a thing. I did not know that you could... Bro, they're so fucking smart. If you make a prison, what you need to do is have a lagoon with piranhas on one layer. You sound like this is like a fucking cartoon villain fucking layer you're making. Lava on another layer, toxic sludge on another. You're making a fucking cartoon villain layer here.
Boy goes over to one of the windows from the gun gallery and takes aim at the guards inside the watchtower overlooking the yard and starts shooting at them. Now he misses, but it doesn't really matter because presumably he wasn't even trying to hit the guard. He just wants all the rest of the guards that aren't under his control to know that they're trying to escape. Because now they got to come in here to stop him, and the only way to do that is to open the main door. So if they come in guns blazing, open the main door, and he can kill him first, he still gets to escape.
Let's see if it pays off for him.
From here, the convicts go. They get posted up by the main door, getting ready for this firefight. Sure enough, the guards come in, guns blazing. They walk right into this ambush. One guard is killed, 5 more are wounded, and they are forced to retreat, but they manage to shut the doors behind them, so now the convicts are still trapped. At this point, they realize they're totally screwed. Up until this point, they were just trying to escape. Yeah, they knocked out a guard, but everybody's still alive. Everybody's still breathing. Now, they've killed at least 1 guard and wounded 5 more. Now,
So they're completely fucked either way. Like you kill the guard, it's over. It is just over for you. Did they have the fucking death penalty back in these days? Also, Togan, thank you for welcome in. How are you? Listen, I know it's a cartoon player. Oh, yeah, it's wide voltage. Like one Burgess, hello, hot dog, how are you? Well, yes, they do. Well, they did. Well, they done for it. Yes, yes. If I remember right, in California, it was gas jet. Okay, some kind of. It doesn't matter what kind, but this, I would argue, these people are not fit and not safe to be in the community, and they refuse to serve their time. They're a massive danger, and they're proven that they will do anything to escape, even killing people. These are massive, massive risks. They can't be allowed in society. They just cannot. They literally cannot function in society and will cause a massive, massive risk to the population. So, choices have to be made by important people, I guess. Me good, homie, chilling with now Sam. Tea time, and real cup couldn't be better.
Well, if they don't somehow escape, they're either going to get the death penalty or they're going to spend the rest of their life here on Alcatraz, and the guards are going to make sure their lives are a living hell because they just killed at least one of their buddies. So now they're all starting to panic. Joe Kretzner, the hardcore gangster, America's public enemy number 4, grabs the pistol, goes over to the cell block with the guards, and starts shooting all of the guards because he doesn't want any witnesses to be able to testify against him in court.
What do you mean testifying? You're fucked, bro. You are fucked. That just makes it worse. That just makes it fucking worse. Oh, why? They were. Oh my god, this is. I'm speechless. I'm actually speechless. Why? So they wouldn't testify against you in court, motherfucker. They have your dead to rights. There's no need. You are guilty. Everyone can see it. Oh my fuck. Wait, you'll see how fucked it gets? Okay,
One of them is killed, the other 5 are hit and then proceed to play dead. Seeing this, the other 3 convicts that were not part of the original plan, the 3 that join, Carnes, Thompson, and Shockley, are like, fuck this, I'm out. They go back to their cells, lock them in, and their plan is to be like, nope, I stayed in my cell the entire time.
Honestly, the 3 smartest members of this fucking stupid crew. The 3 smartest members right there.
I was never involved. Please don't punish me too. And while that's going on, the warden of Alcatraz, after hearing that his initial attack against the convicts had failed, has sent out a call to the US government.
Here we go. The good guys come in and saving the day.
So the United States government gets a call from the warden, and remember, the US government is on some bullshit right now. They think the Air Force should only have planes, the Navy should only have boats, and all the ground warfare should go to the Army, so they kick this over to the Army instead of the Marine Corps, even though it's an island and they're launching an invasion on an island. But whatever, they kick it over to the Army.
Are you sure this water's sanitary? It looks questionable to me.
In their defense, though, if you were going to give it to the Army, they did give it to probably the 2 best guys that you could give this task to, because they gave it to the 2 generals with probably the most guerrilla warfare experience in all of World War II. That being Vinegar Joe Stillwell and his right-hand guy, General Frank Merrill, as in like Merrill's Marauders, Frank.
To be real, I've never heard of either of them, but I am assuming that's because I'm British.
Which, if you don't know, we talked about these guys in my last video. Logan Weston, the fighting preacher, was part of Merrill's Marauders. Basically, it was 3,000 volunteers that went into India and then proceeded to march from India into Burma, like 1,250 miles, and conducted guerrilla warfare operations against Imperial Japan for 7 months straight, living in the jungle the entire time with no assets other than getting supplies airdropped to them. Okay, for
Holy shit, okay, we might have to watch that one next. That's badass. That's badass as fuck, bro.
I'm picking up on a button down. If anybody knows how to handle an irregular situation, it's General Merrill, and he's now in charge. And he's got himself in an irregular situation right out of the gate, because if he sends US soldiers into Alcatraz,
also, chat, no spoilers, please. I have to avoid looking at chat, so no spoilers.
he could probably wind up getting arrested and thrown in prison for the rest of his life, because you could argue that this violates US Code 1385, also referred to as the Posse Comitatus Act.
Huh?
Come again.
This is what you hear about anytime there's like riots or anything going on in the world and you're wondering why the president or the government isn't sending in the Marines and the National Guard to quell the riots. They always bring up this act because it's illegal. The only way the government can legally send in troops on federal orders to control the civilian population is if they have an act of Congress, which is going to take a while, doesn't really apply to this situation, or the governor of that state specifically requests it, which again is a government function that's going to take forever, and we don't have time for that shit right now. So Joe Stillwell and
Oh.
Frank Merrill's
Okay,
asses
okay,
are quite
okay.
literally on the line. If they mess this up and it goes sideways and the government needs a scapegoat, they're probably going to throw these guys in jail for saying that they violated this act so the government doesn't take any heat for it. So whatever they decide to do, it's very important they follow the letter of the
Like, you know, special circumstances should be allowed like this, but then again, that does start like a very slippery slope of what is an extenuating circumstances, and people saying stuff is when it actually isn't, because corruption and greed and shit like that. So it's a dangerous one, I
law.
guess.
Exactly. And in order to do that, you got to read the law. So let's go ahead and do that. U.S. Code 1385. Whoever, except in cases under circumstances expressly authorized by the Constitution or an act of Congress, willfully uses any part of the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, or the Space Force as a posse
Wait, the Space Force? Wait. What is the Space Force? I know freaking Trump wanted to make that. Is this like, no, this isn't, no, what? They had the Space Force back then too? What?
comitatus or otherwise to execute the laws shall be fined under this title or imprisoned
It's the newest
not more
one?
than 2 years or
Oh.
both. So that's pretty much it. Case closed. In 2026, you can't use any branch of the United States military
It's official since the mid 2020s, I think. Okay, so this isn't the one from back then. This is just the modern day version of that law. Right, okay. I was gonna say, they had a Space Force back in the fucking 80s, or whenever this was, the 90s? Like, what the fuck?
to conduct police actions unless you have like an act of Congress, which is going to take forever. But this isn't 2026, this is 1946, and that law has been rewritten a couple of times since then, probably in part because of what happens next. Because in 1946, when Frank Merrill pulls up the letter of the law, here's what that act actually says. Quote, from and after the passage of this act, it shall not be lawful to employ any part of the Army of the United States as a posse comitatus or otherwise for the purpose of executing the laws, except in such cases and under such circumstances as such employment of said force may be expressly authorized by the Constitution or by an act of Congress. Okay, translation.
Okay, please tell me that in English, please. I have no idea what that
He
meant.
can't send in the U.S. Army. It don't say shit about the Marine Corps, okay? We're gonna follow the law to the letter. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a loophole.
Loopholes, let's go. Loopholes. I don't know why they use legalese, because it's meant to be like, the clearest and most like definitive version, so you don't mix it up. My brain reads it and I just don't understand what I read. Every time I do like my taxes and stuff like that, that's one of the reasons why I hired an accountant, to make sure I don't fuck up, because I can't read legalese. I genuinely can't. My brain reads it and it just doesn't translate. It's like a foreign language to me.
General Frank Merrill, the guerrilla warfare expert, is literally going to use the Air Bud legal defense to send in the United States Marine Corps to take out a bunch of convicts, and the fact that the Marines are nicknamed Devil Dogs makes that even funnier.
Ain't no rules
That's
in
a
the
cool
dog, can't play
name.
basketball. This is a joke.
Now, is that in accordance with the
Reading law is hard sometimes, but all the time. Reading any law is hard. The law is intentionally written. Oh, I know it is. I know it's intentionally like
spirit
that.
of the law? Absolutely not. But is it to the letter of the law? Yes. Yes, it is. If you're the first one to do it, it
Get
can't
fucked.
be illegal yet. It's never a war crime the first time. Them's the rules. So General Merrill presumably calls up the Marine Corps and is like, hey, I need a bunch of Marines to break into a prison on Alcatraz and take out some armed convicts. And the Marine Corps is like, I've got the perfect.
I kind of want. I'm pretty sure you'd probably sell that hat. I kind of want that hat, but I'd be too much of a pussy to wear it out in public, like for real. I would be so scared. People be like, "What the fuck? You're full of war crimes?" Like, no, it's a joke. It's an internet joke from a bearded man on the internet.
Guys. May 3rd,
Is a ball
1946 at
hat
6
doing it?
p.m. an
I'm
assault
mine.
boat full of 2 platoons of Marines, approximately 86 guys, rolls up to Alcatraz. These Marines have just got back home to America from Guam, where for the past 6 months they have been on the island of Guam going into fortified enemy bunkers of Japanese.
So they're not these boys right here. I say boys. These men are not taking any shit. They are not gonna fuck around. They're going to fuck you up. They're used to fucking breaking into bunkers, boy. You ain't got shit on them. You're about to die. You are not gonna like this at all. I'm so hyped to see what happens. Loopholes, everybody loves them. Everybody also hates them, depending on whether you're using them or being used. That's very true, Spiders. Very true.
Soldiers that refuse to surrender and clearing them out. Imperial Japanese soldiers inside of a bunker, convicts inside of a prison, potato, potato. It's basically the same thing. And the Marines are showing up ready to party. In addition to their normal kit, you know, rifles and pistols, they've also brought flamethrowers, mortars, bazookas, machine guns.
But again, overkill is underrated, so fucking have fun.
A shit ton of grenades, rifle grenades, and shape charges, aka bunker busting bombs. And if that wasn't enough, they're being led by a Marine by the name of Charles Buckner, who just got a Silver Star in Guam for repelling an enemy ambush. The next day, an enemy field piece was opening fire on his men, so he took a machine gun out and got rid of it by himself. And then the day after that, he got shot by enemy sniper fire and refused to be evacuated until he was ordered to do so by his superiors. Doesn't sound like.
There were so many badass fucking soldiers in these fucking wars that we just never hear of. I have never heard of this man. That is some of the coolest fucking shit I've ever heard. What actual fucking badass. Like, legitimately, this is like fucking, like, you know, action movies, fucking Hollywood superstar fucking bullshit. But IRL. Like, holy fuck.
The guy you want to be fucking with. So the Marines make their amphibious landing on Alcatraz.
Here's Johnny.
Charles Buckner immediately goes, finds the warden, and is like, all right, what's the plan? Where are the bad guys? What are we doing? The warden briefs Buckner on the situation. Buckner's like, okay, I need to know where they're at, and I need blueprints of the prison. In the meantime, what do you need my guys doing? What else do you need help with? And the warden is like, well, we've got 140 convicts that are stuck outside in the yard because they were out there when the prison got taken over, and we're just kind of watching over them. They've been out there all day yesterday and all this morning. We could use some guys out there helping watch these guys. Buckner is like, all right, go ahead, take care of it, boys. The Marines run out to the yard, you know, they get up on the perches around this wreck yard, and the Marines are standing there with their guns just looking down at all these convicts. And the convicts, you know, they're thugs, they're hardened criminals. They think they're tough because they robbed a bank with a Tommy gun, and they're looking up at these Marines who are all presumably 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old
war veterans. They went to war and came back, bro.
kids, and they start talking shit. Now, this is based off the recollection of the guards and the Marines that were later interviewed, but supposedly one of the convicts yelled up, oh, look, we've got some soldier boys here. I'm so scared. Fuck you guys.
You're about to eat shit so hard that you're not gonna know what fucking happened, bro. You are going to die. You are not gonna like what happened next. I can already tell.
So today's lesson, we're going to talk about a different phenomena on this graph here that I think
Mistakes were made.
At which point, all of the Marines, in unison, without a word being spoken, flicked the safeties off of their rifles and pointed them down at the convicts, and the corporal in charge replied, give me an excuse to blow one of your guys' fucking heads off. The convicts got real quiet and cooperative.
I bet they fucking did. I bet they fucking shut the fuck up immediately.
After that.
Oh, fuck. Oh, that's way worse.
And while all this is going on, Buckner's getting brought up to speed, and the situation is more complicated than he originally thought. This is not simply a smash through the bunker, kill the bad guys type scenario that he's used to. This is a hostage rescue situation because there's guards in there that presumably might still be alive. So we can't just start blowing stuff up. So we got to come up with a plan to get in there, rescue the guards. So that night they kill the power to the prison, so it is pitch black in there. Then with flashlights, guards and Marines storm the East Gun Gallery and they take it. Now the East Gun Gallery only covers the main cell blocks A, B, and C. It does not cover D block. They don't see any armed convicts or a riot going on, so they come to the conclusion that all the perpetrators must be held up in D block. And now with the East Gun Gallery under their control, they have the high ground, they have machine guns, they're going to be able to provide covering fire and superior firing positions if a firefight does break out, so they feel pretty confident sending some guards in there on a rescue mission to search the main cell block looking for the hostages. The guards go in under the cover of the Marines, they manage to find the 5 wounded guards, and they get them evacuated. So that's great. And by the next
Okay, so they got out eventually. That's good. I was just thinking, right? If it wasn't for the guards and like the quote unquote innocent convicts that didn't sign up and just stayed in their cell, they could have just starved them out. They could have just fucking like just posted up and just fucking sat back and just let them starve. Like that'd be my go-to. If there wasn't like the need to keep the other prisoners alive, and there wasn't there wasn't hostages, then my immediate go-to, okay, if they want to stay in there, they can stay in there. We'll just let them fucking starve to death. Easy, easy. We'll sit outside with our pina coladas, our fucking music, and our fucking food, our burgers, and we'll just watch and just wait. That would be my fucking go-to. Some would take a long time. Yeah, but you don't. The thing is, you don't have to starve them to the point where they die. You have to starve them to the point where they're unable to do anything, where they're so weak that they just can't fight. I mean, you walk in, fucking take them, and fucking throw them back in a cell. Easy. Right? I'm not being too, like, idyllic here. Looks like you can't control your own prisoners. There's a
follower.
Oh, Rex the Scientific Fall, welcome in. There's an old saying, give your soul to the god because your ass is mine. The Marines are the embodiment of that state. I love that, that's great. That's a good one, Rex. Also welcome in, Rex, welcome in, GB4 Live. Marines are good at taking over islands. Very good. Very, very. Some might say they had a thing to that during the Pacific War. Some might say. Your mother, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Thank you, thank you,
This
thank
morning,
you.
things have just gotten way simpler for Buckner and the Marines because now there's no hostages in the situation and they have a rough idea of where the perpetrators are holed up, inside of D Block. Now at this point, some of the higher ranking guards are pretty pissed off that the Marines are there at all. It kind of makes them look bad, like, oh, you can't handle the situation, you can't do your job. So they're all in their feelings about it and they're requesting the warden lets the guards go in there with guns and take out the convicts. The warden, on the other hand, doesn't really care about the guards' feelings. He doesn't want anybody else to get hurt. So he goes to Buckner and is like, okay, maybe if we let them know that the Marines are here or that we have superior firepower, that's going to scare them and we can convince
Nev, Hero, if you disagree, I'm gonna poop in your shoe. Yeah, exactly. That seems like a reasonable
them
response.
to surrender. So from here, the Marines go, they capture the West Gun Gallery, they kind of open fire in the cell block, just letting them know, like, hey, we have machine guns, we have Marines, we have superior firepower, you're not getting out of this.
Seven, what the fuck? Thank you for the 10 community gifted. What the fuck? Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. Very unnecessary, but thank you. What the fuck? Giga Chat? I mean, W? Thank you for the 10. That's incredibly generous of you. Thank you. Holy gift chat. I guess so, yeah. I feel like they're not going to care. Oh, you mean the fucking Marines? Yeah, I don't think the Marines give a shit. What happens to the prisoners? Was it too much? Listen, as long as you're not fucking doing it to the point where you can't look after yourself, Seven, then I'm new on Twitch. It's fine. I just don't want you doing it. I'm like putting yourself in a bad situation, okay? If you can't afford to do it, there is no pressure to do it. If you want to, I will not stop you. It's very, very, very appreciated. Very appreciated. But again, make sure you take care of yourself. That goes for all of you fuckers, by the way. Make sure you take care of yourselves first, okay? You get your own stuff paid for. You've got your rent, you got your bills, you got your groceries paid for. And then if you want to support your favorite streamers, then you may, of course. NP then? No, understood? Okay, good.
And then they come around with a megaphone and are like, you know, hey, you should surrender now. Give up your guns. This shit is over. And Coy responds back, come get us, motherfucker.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
At this point, the warden just kind of looks over at Buckner and is like,
idiot.
do your thing.
Huh?
Buckner pulls everybody out of the West Gun Gallery. The East Gun Gallery is going to be protected by that wall because it's not in part of D Block, and D Block is completely cordoned off because it's the isolation unit. From here, remember, Buckner's been studying the blueprints this entire time. He knows where everything is inside of this prison. He has his Marines go up on the roof of D Block and drop tear gas grenades down into the ventilation system to pump tear gas into all of D Block. Then he has the Marines start setting up bazookas, and they're going to fire bazookas through the windows into D Block. At which point,
oh, you know, just missiles? We're just gonna launch fucking rocket launchers into the prison. Why? Because we're Marines. That's what we do.
the warden, being an epic party pooper, steps in and is like, that's too much.
No, it's not. Think of how fun that would be. Think of how much fun that would be. Just flying fucking bazookas through windows. Why? For fun. I genuinely believe the Marines' reason for the fucking bazookas is for fun. I'm not saying that as a bit. I legitimately would believe that. I would legitimately believe that.
No bazookas. And Buckner's like,
oh,
fine, we won't use bazookas. The warden fucks off. Buckner then immediately turns around to his guys, is like, set up the mortars. But sir, didn't the warden just say no explosions? No, the warden said no bazookas. He didn't say shit
Loopholes! Fucking loopholes! Let's go! Let's fucking go,
about
bro!
mortars. This entire mission is malicious compliance. Now hurry up and get the mortars set up before he comes back. So D-Block, already presumably full of tear gas and everybody's having a bad time, and then the Marines start shelling D-Block through the windows. They're shooting rifle grenades, they're shooting machine guns into the windows, doing anything and everything they can to...
Sorry, that's way too funny. That was way too... This whole mission is about malicious compliance. It's so
be as
funny.
annoying as possible. Most of it is completely ineffective fire. It's going right through the window and hitting a massive concrete wall. It's not doing anything other than just the constant concussion of explosions and noise while the guys are in there breathing tear gas. It just sucks. So why on earth are they doing it if they know it's not going to solve the problem? Well, it's going to persuade the convicts to evacuate D-Block, and once they evacuate D-Block, there's really only one place they can go because they know that they have control of the East Gun
Story into an ambush. Let us go. We
Gallery
love
at this
that.
point, and there's only one place to hide that isn't D-Block and isn't in the main cell block, and it's in one of the utility corridors in C-Block. So Buckner is betting on the fact that these guys are going to evacuate D-Block, and they're going to have to run straight to this utility corridor, dodging bullets the entire time. And then once they get into that utility corridor, they're safe. They're effectively inside of a concrete bunker. The only way in is through the door on the main cell block, and that door leads into basically what amounts to a concrete hallway, and they're
Fish in a fucking barrel. Just lob a grenade down there, you thought.
going to be standing at the end of it with their guns pointed at that door, and anybody that comes through there is going to get shot. They have a very narrow choke point. It's a terrific fighting position. It's exactly what anybody that was smart would do. The convicts are going to turn this into their own little miniature Battle of Thermopylae.
From there, we will funnel them into the mountain pass we call the Hot Gates.
The plan works like a charm. Eventually,
Only one grenade. If all the wars of intimidation, it follows the law. What's the long-term plan, though? I don't know. I don't think they're thinking about long-term plan, Angry. I think they're just running on instinct at this point. They're in a life and death situation. I don't think they have a long-term plan. It's just, I'm being shot at, I'm being shelled, I need to get somewhere where they can't do that. I'd assume.
the convicts decide they got to get the fuck out of D-Block. They immediately run to the nearest cell block C, and go straight into the utility corridor, the only place that's safe. Presumably, the guys in the East Gun Gallery see them run into that utility corridor and notify Buckner. So the plan worked, which raises a question. Why on earth is this the plan? Why would you intentionally force your enemy into the most fortified, defendable position possible
Because all you have to do is lob a grenade and they're dead.
before you go and try to take them out? Because now, presumably, the only way to go in there and kill these guys is to walk right into the narrow choke point that they're pointing guns at, and some of your guys are going to wind up getting killed. Which is why Buckner has an alternative plan. You gotta remember, this guy just got back from Guam, and his entire job was killing Japanese soldiers inside of bunkers,
Yeah.
okay? If you're not picking up what I'm putting down,
exactly.
this guy has had time to develop and refine some very creative ways to kill the enemy. Once Buckner gets word that his plan worked and they're in the utility corridor, he orders his guys to quit the mortar fire, but keep some suppressing fire from
This is gonna get very bad very quickly, chat. Just
the machine
boys.
guns going into D-Block, just so they don't double back. He then grabs a bunch of Marines, tells them to grab all the grenades and rifle grenades that we have, and
Yep.
heads up to the
Do
roof.
it.
Wait. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
Now, as you can see from the map, the C-Block utility corridor pretty much runs the length of C-Block, which is basically the length of the prison. So once they get up on the roof, they measure out where this utility corridor is approximately at, and then they proceed to beat, drill, and chisel 5 holes running the length of this C-Block utility
Drop grenades in someone.
corridor. They then proceed to grab rifle grenades, put them on their rifles, shove their rifles into the hole, and fire the
shoot
grenades. And then
them.
they keep doing that, firing at all different angles, making sure they cover every square inch of this utility corridor. And they do this, and
So the convicts are now pink mist, essentially, chat. They are no longer alive. They are particles in the air, let's
until they
say.
run out of rifle grenades. Now, are the convicts dead at this point? Almost certainly. Are the Marines going to stop?
100%.
Absolutely not. Now, why would they do that? Well, if I had to bet, I would say the official excuse is going to be, we wanted to make sure we were thorough. We wanted to make sure we got the job done. In reality, I've been around grunts long enough to know exactly
Hi, Ralph. How are
went
you?
through their head, and that thought was, I'm not about to carry 500 frag grenades back down from the roof. We're using these bitches so I don't have to carry them back and turn them back in at base. From here, the Marines proceed to lower frag grenades down the holes on wires with strings connected to the pins, and once they lower it down far enough, they yank the string, pull the pin, so it's an air burst, and you get a full 360 explosion instead of it just detonating on the ground.
This is so fucked up. Like, really, legitimately, it's beyond fucked. But it's also hilarious because it's happening to, you know, arguably vile people that do not deserve to live. Like, so, you know, my conscience is clear on this. This is fine. This is funny.
Which is hilarious because, like I already said, the convicts are probably already dead, but if they're not, they're just looking up at these holes with grenades getting lowered right on top of them.
Yeah.
Like. So that goes on for a little while, then they just start pitching grenades down these holes until they run out. And then they throw the shape charges and pretty much every other piece of explosive ordnance they have down the holes as well because, well, you know, I don't want to carry that shit back with me. And earlier when I said 500 grenades, I was not exaggerating. They literally put 500 grenades into that utility corridor. Is that overkill? Absolutely. But you know what? Overkill is underrated. They went up there, they killed the bad guys, they made the world a better place, and now their backpack is a little bit lighter for the journey home. Everybody wins. From here, Buckner goes back, has another little meeting with the warden. Warden basically comes out and asks him, are they dead? And Buckner, I'm paraphrasing here, responds with, if there's any convicts left, they're definitely corpses.
I'm pretty
100%.
tired. Think I'll go home now.
And then Buckner grabs all his stuff, grabs his Marines, they board the assault boat, and they leave. Then the guards grab their guns, they go into the main cell block, and the entire prison is flooded. There is water and sewage everywhere. Gotta remember, the Marines just blew up the utility corridor. That's where all the water pipes and all the sewage pipes and all the electrical and all the important infrastructure stuff for the prison is located. So presumably, that's all junk now. There's both literal and metaphorical shit everywhere. They make their way to the utility corridor. They don't really know what happened, so they open the door and they just open fire into this corridor for a little while. Then they wait. There's no return fire. Okay, these guys must be dead. They find what's left of the 3 remaining convicts, and that is the
What's left is just pink mist, bro. There's nothing
end
left.
of the Battle of Alcatraz.
That was good.
Obviously,
that was
there's
a
a lot
good
of interviews and
story.
interrogations that went on afterwards, trying to figure out everything that happened. And during those interviews and interrogations,
Dead, destroyed, pregnant. I'm pretty sure they didn't impregnate the prisoners. I'm pretty sure that's not what they did.
the other 3 men that did participate to some degree in this riot were found out, and 2 of them, Thompson and Shockley, both received the death penalty. Clarence Carnes, on the other hand, managed to avoid the death penalty because some of the guards that were shot inside that cell did testify that Clarence Carnes tried to prevent Kretzner from shooting them, so he managed to avoid the death penalty because of that. He did, however, spend the rest of his life in prison until he passed away in 1988. From AIDS. How you get AIDS while you're in prison, I have no idea.
I may not have a brain, gentlemen, but I have an idea.
Other interesting trivia fact is that the most famous Alcatraz escape was in 1962. This is the one that the movie Escape from
Hey, listen. Men have needs, okay? No judgment. They have
Alcatraz
needs.
is based on. And both in real life and in the movie, the convicts managed to escape their cells by digging through weakened concrete, and it is believed that that concrete was weakened because of all of the water damage caused by the Marines and their grenades.
Oh!
Can I do that?
Now, where does this leave the Marine Corps as far as are they going to get disbanded or defunded? Well, the Battle of Alcatraz lasted from May 2nd to May 4th of 1946. And like I already said at the beginning of the video, General Vandegrift, the Commandant of the Marine Corps at the time, is already set to testify in front of the Senate in 2 days on May 6th. And on May 6th, when he steps into that Senate hearing, Marines take over Alcatraz from armed convicts is on the front page of every newspaper in America.
Like, the best fucking PR they could have asked for. Like, yeah, there's no shot they're fucking disbanding the Marines after they... Fuck, like, yeah, if it wasn't for these freaking prisoners breaking out and doing all this and the Marines having to go in and sort shit out, then we could be in a world where, like, the Marines actually got disbanded. Could you imagine that, guys?
America. He has all the positive PR he could ever ask for. And with that, the United States Marine Corps solidifies and reaffirms its place and its belonging in the United States military. And that is a story of the Battle of Alcatraz when they called in the Marines to take care of a prison riot. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch, maybe drink some Echelon. Links to both of those over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
Let's go. That was good.
Unpopular opinion, this story deserves a movie way more than the 1962 Escape does.
But you know what? You know fucking what? Yes, 100%. 100 fucking %. It does. It really fucking does. That was incredible.